Welcome, everybody, to Changing of the Hip Hop Guards. It is me, Uncle E. That is my partner, the journalist Sincere. Make sure if you're tuned in, take 1 second, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, share this with everybody. Leave us a comment. Let us know how you like our episode, especially this one with the one and only, the legendary Harlem bred. The legendary name rings bells throughout all the towns, all the boroughs. The one and only Silver Fox is with us, man. Thank you for joining us today.
Peace.
How's everything?
Good to be here.
Thank you. How's everything going? How you been?
I've been good, man. I had me a blessed weekend, and I'm still here, so it's a blessing.
Yeah. We're gonna talk a little bit about. I saw you got a little nice plaque that they awarded you up in Harlem recently, man. So we'll talk about that soon.
Yes,
but
sir.
Before we get to that, why don't you do us a favor, man? Take us back a little bit for everybody that might not know or be familiar with who Silver Fox is, and talk to us a little bit about growing up in Harlem, coming up teenage years.
No doubt. Well, Harlem was beautiful, man. I grew up in Grand Houses, which is on 125th of Amsterdam. This is my Grand Houses shirt. We cover Broadway, LaSalle, Amsterdam Ave, and 125th Street. So it was quite active, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm from a group called Fantasy 3. We came out in 1983 with a record called It's Your Rock. And we did Buy This in the City, Summer, and the Bucks Up Here. And growing up in Harlem, myself, I grew up in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And it was beautiful, you know, bell bottoms and marshmallow shoes, and, you know what I mean? AJ Lester. Plus, I was down the block from the Apollo. So, you know, in the 60s, that was a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? And it's also Grand Houses is the land of some of the Fearless Four members, Devastating Tito, Crazy Eddie, he's from Grant, Master OC was from up the block. Mm-hmm. You know? So, then there was also Mike C was in Manhattanville, and Dougie Fresh was on 126. Crash Crew was over there in Harlem. I mean, you know, Harlem in the 70s, the early days of hip hop, it was really beautiful because we was going to block parties and people was taking the power off the light posts and having a party in the middle of the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So now, fast forward a little bit. Around what time now did you start catching the bug and like really wanted to take part of what you saw going on around you as far as what we call hip hop now?
Well, I started out like crazy at an older age because when I was like 18, I was married, you know, and I went to Alaska. I came back from Alaska and hip hop was really going on. I was like, oh, look at this. It's, you know, what are these youngsters doing? So I went to Columbia University and saw Eddie Cheever and DJ Hollywood. Okay. And they were, I mean, there was some other people there, but it was like that just put the bug right in me. So I was like, wow, this is hip hop. Then I was trying to figure out how I would do it. So thanks to my man that lived in Grant, who was Tito, and Tito was like 16 years old. And I really liked that he was an intelligent dude. And we sat down, he sat with me, and we talked about hip hop, his philosophy on it, and what words. He was multi-syllabic. And there was my dude, Kevsky, you know, that was my partner, rest in peace, Kevsky, from Grant. Yeah, Fat Kev, they called him. And him and my brother, Benjamin, he called himself Wessel. And we went around places, and I was just trying to hone my skills. And thanks to them, and then I found a club called Joe Grant's. And in the 70s, it was the 70s, because I got a tape on with New Year's, where I did New Year's over there in 1980. So I know it was the 70s. Right. So I was going around different places and just like battling people trying to get on the mic. They wouldn't let me on the mic. So what I did was I brought my own mic. I brought it. I brought an AKG 120E. Yeah,
Okay.
and I put it in rhyme too. I got an AKG that's 120E. Took the BMT to the IND. The trains. Blah blah blah. I'm like, man. So now, if my mic was quality, so people wanted to get on it, but in order for them to get on it, they gotta let me on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
dope. So how did you know as far as going around and trying to want to battle other people, you know what I mean, to make a name for yourself? Like where were you seeing that happening already? Like others battling each other and so forth?
yeah. There were battles going on because it was the beginning of hip hop. So it was just like street corners, like when people on the corner and they doing freestyle, and we calling that a battle too, because it's like, yeah. But then there was animosity also, and me myself, like a lot of them. I think a lot of like my rhymes were complicated. My stuff was kind of on a different level, and I was looking at them like, what are they doing? I want them to advance, and and I couldn't take the yes, y'all, and just to say anything on a mic. I mean, to tell some stories, to put something in it, to add some, and I learned all of that through combination of watching different people do it.
Okay.
Fearless 4, they got a stage show. Treacherous 3 had a stage show. You know what I mean? And I used to also go to Harlem World and see everybody perform over there. Or the Force MCs when they first came out, when they came from Staten Island.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, came over to Harlem World. I was there
Mm.
at the show. I was like, man, these guys, they were inventive. It was creative, and everybody was different. And there was a lot of changing too going on in hip hop because it was young people
Mm.
that were ready to come, the next God, and with Mel, man, Mel was the God to me in hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like Mel, Cowboy, all of them. And just to hope, just to see the Furious Five like live
Mm.
at a show, man, who would not want to be that? Who would not want, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And even before I started, like I was just, I made a name for myself in Harlem and White Plains and so forth. But there was also like a big hip hop show in the Armory in Harlem. And it had Sequence when it was, oh man, MC Shan, I think. It was all these groups at the time that Sequence was there.
Right.
Furious Five was there. It was like, God, man, this hip hop thing was fantastic.
And
And I loved it.
for some that don't know though, when you mention sequence, you're talking about like a lot of people might know, for example, Angie Stone, because she was, what was she, Angie
Right.
B at the time, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, it was Angie B, yeah.
Right.
But there was this Angie, Blondie,
Blondie,
and
yeah.
Cheryl the Pearl.
Yep. Yeah,
And the three of them made Sequence.
right.
But they were also they were they on Sugar Hill? I believe they were in Sugar. But they were a group from the South, and they were being like distributed. They were played on all the stations. Gonna funk you right on up. We're
Yeah.
gonna funk you right on up. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here going like this, man, and I was loving it. It was all of this that was happening in hip hop, and I was feeling it. But then it's like, so I gravitated to it.
Okay. Before I pass this sincere, can you just describe? You mentioned Harlem World. Now
Yeah.
we've heard, a lot of people have heard Harlem World, Harlem World. Can you just describe, what was that like? Like what was the experience like being at Harlem World?
Harlem World, first of all, you right there on 116th, you're right there in the center of Harlem, and it's a hip hop show, and it's only like $2-3. You know what I'm saying? So you pay $3 at the door, and you come in. And of course, there's no seating, but you got a big old space like Roxy was. The Roxy
Okay.
was like that too. But you got a big space and a stage, and everybody had the chance to perform.
Hmm.
And it was like the Treacherous 3 was there. People from the Bronx, people from Staten Island, Jekyll and Hyde, which
Yeah.
was Andre
On-
Harrell you
Right,
know,
right.
who later formed Uptown Records, and I forget who Jekyll was, but if they call themselves Jekyll and Hyde, and Busy B Starsky. It was like, you know, these guys they were young and they were doing it, and everybody was different and doing their thing. Busy B was a show rocker, Starsky was a show rocker. Then the Force MDs that had these routines from songs that were cartoons and F Troop and Underdog, and it was like we're using Dr. Rock. It's like just to see them do this live,
Right.
and my boy Mercury, you know, rest in peace. And you know, we got tight because I always wanted to talk hip hop. Like if anybody would talk to me, I want to see where they coming from. How do you feel? Well, listen to this lyric that I got in. What you think about that? Is that too long? Or oh man, how you get those routines and put you know, that's where I thought about harmony, where the harmonics for even Fantasy 3, you know, later on, where that came from is from listening to Force MDs with their harmonies.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Mentioned about battling earlier on. Who were some of the MCs that we may know, may not know earlier on that you battled?
I battle everybody. I battled people in Saint Nick projects. There was my man Pinelio, Disco P. They had a group. I forget the MCs. I remember Bo D, and there was a few of them, man. They good people with me, but we battled. I was down with the Untouchables, which is DJ Andre, and he was down in Douglas. You know, matter of fact, he was on 102nd Street. So
Okay.
this is a little further downtown. And Spivey, they had stuff inside of the what we call a community center right there. So I would roll through and I battle whoever wanted to battle. And then me in the future, I mean, me and LL, we battled. Me and Kool G Rap had a battle. I battled people in South Jersey where I just walk in there. I battled the Crash Crew. It's like, you know, I like,
That's crazy.
yeah, man. It's like, you know, and when it comes to the Crash Crew, it's like we battled them. Fantasy 3. And it was me, Charlie Rock, Larry D, and we battled them. And you know, the war in '84, they call it, but people act like it didn't exist, but it happened. Ask Master OC, he did the music. He was playing it for us. But yeah, man, I was trying to battle Mo D, but he was very evasive.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Take us back to that LL battle. What do you remember most about that day?
About which day?
LL.
No, battling L. Well, see, L came to the record shop, which is now we in the future. Well, he came to this record shop that we had, and he just he was wanted to get signed, and he told me he was bad and all that. And I'm sitting here, you know, writing. I'm like, yeah, all right, man, come on, let's do it. We did it right there. I played some record, and here we go battling off of Enjoy, what you call it? Treacherous Street. You know, that's infamous. From the south to the west, go off.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, okay, so we're gonna do that. And we kept going back and forth, and you know, and then he realized I had some skills. So, you know, we hung out, we battled over and over and over and over again. The best one was on the train. When we was taking the train up to White Plains, and we was battling each other all through the ride and all through, you know. But that's what you call competitive battle, where because now if I say a rhyme that he remembered, now he starts saying it with me.
Right.
And the same thing is like, you know, same thing with him, then I'm saying it. So that gave us where we have to keep writing every week because we're gonna see each other again. You know what I mean? But with the mother cats on the street, you could battle them and dismantle them, and you never see them again. You know, they can't get over that stuff. You know what I mean? So I would do things like walk in with a hood on or come in with, you know, but I'd be different all the time and come in like, but I'll still be Silver Fox. And they like, who the fuck is he? I don't know him. Well, excuse me. They be like, like, who's he? I don't know that dude. Next thing you know, so that's how I got to be known a bit. But it's mostly in Harlem.
What about that Kool G Rap battle? Take us back to that day.
Oh, Kool G, man. That was still in Joe Grant's too. We battled. But see, it wasn't it wasn't a battle where I'm gonna talk about your mama, your cat, your dog. You know, where at the end we gonna kill each other. That was the other shit in the street.
Right,
But
right.
we battled to see, like, you know, who's gonna run out of rhymes, who's gonna be, you know what I mean. And when he stopped and just listened. He was like, I'm done. I just want to hear what you guys saying. I keep going and going and going and going. And then he's like, man, this dude. So then we do it week after week because he was always in our after hour spot that we go to, Joe Grant's. And he and even L mentioned that because I took him there too. And I took a lot of people there. It was it was really just after hours, like just for gambling. But after I started coming there, then the people started coming there to dance, and I started bringing people there. Even Dougie, I brought Dougie Fresh there, brought a few people there. I tell them about it, spread the word, and we in there, you know. So it was that. But G Rap, we battled once, twice, 3 times, and really we talked and chilled. And then he's like, you know, because we talk about philosophy on hip hop. I always talk about, you know, what I want to do with it. And this was the 70s, you know, and he was a kid. He was like, I don't know, 12, 13. He's in an after hour spot, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the same thing with L. L was like 16, you know what I mean? Just turning 16, you know. And so, you know, I had a thing with the youth, like even Tito was 16. You know what I mean? And it's like I was much older than him, like in my 20s or something. So it's like, huh?
Before the Fantasy Crew, were you part of any crews before getting with those guys?
Yeah, matter of fact, I was part of a crew called the Glorious Four. That was with Kevski, Kerry G, Lee D was the DJ, my brother Benjamin, my boy Shotgun, and Kevski. And we I know that's more than 4, but there was, it was more than 4. And prior to that, it was the Light Brothers with my man Ronnie Ron and my partner Mike Nice, my cousin. You know, rest in peace, Mike Nice. But we were the Light Brothers. We actually was on a show called Rap. I forget it because it was the 70s. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, but it was the Light Brothers, and Ronnie was the dancer. Ron and Mike, they were the dancers, like break dancing, flips, stuff like that, and I was just the MC. So, yep, that was prior to Fantasy 3. Prior to them, I was solo. I was basically a solo act, and I was working with DJ Andre with the Untouchables. I was just trying to find my niche, you know, find where I could fit in, and who I could be with, what I could do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was introduced to Charlie and Larry through Tito from Phyllis Ford.
Okay.
When you know, as far as with the Light Brothers, you know, you guys were kind of making moves and everything, but did anything else besides the show transpire, like as far as any records, any songs, something that might have came out but not really, you know?
Well, not with the Light Brothers.
Not with the Light Brothers.
But with Glorious 4, we did a record. We actually pressed it up.
Okay.
And you know, when I look back on it, I think it was quite corny, but we did it. You know.
Yeah.
They were young and stuff. It was like, you know, click the dial to channel 2. Now you're watching this. You click the dial. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Right.
I don't even want to recite it. If somebody find it, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, look." But there are people though in White Plains that remember the Light Brothers because we are the Light Brothers. And
gotcha. So now, moving on to the Fantasy 3, you got, you know, you moved around with a couple other groups. How do you end up, deciding that you created the Fantasy 3 yourself? Like you went out and found the other two brothers, or how did that happen?
No, the other Charlie and Larry, they were together. They wanted to make a record,
Okay.
but they needed to have an opportunity or someone also that would complete them in order to make a record.
Okay.
So I got into. They already, they knew they knew Tito. You know what I mean? No Master OC. And you know what I mean, these are me Hispanic brothers, mi
Mm-hmm.
hermanos para
Yeah, right,
siempre.
right, right.
You know what I mean? And so Tito introduced me to them, and I talked with them for a while, and we decided, yeah, this will work. And the thing with Fantasy 3, Charlie Rock. Now Charlie Rock had the conception in his mind of
Okay.
what he wanted. You know what I mean? What he wanted a group, and he wanted, you know what I mean? So they included me. So everyone had their job, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm the writer. I'm gonna write stuff and I was kind of broke. I was broke at that time, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Okay.
they was putting up the money. And I wasn't asking them for money. They wasn't giving me money, but they putting up the money for the studio time. You
Right.
know what I mean? To have have everything going right with the demo that we make, and so we put it together. I wrote a few things. You know what I mean? And we pieced it together and got people to do it, and we came out with the demo of the genre.
Okay.
But of course, Charlie was shopping it around. Charlie knew Chico, who was
Okay.
Julio Guina, and Julio Guina had a social club on 134th Street. So Julio said, yeah, he'll put up money to polish it to make it better, than what this demo is.
Mm.
So he actually got with Clark J, who was on Specific Records,
Okay.
and so then got a few people. Aldo Marin was involved in that too. And he got Master OC to do the production. We got Pumpkin,
Mm-hmm.
from Pumpkin and the All Stars.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Now the thing is that I wanted to play the music because it was all the music was in my head, and I know how to play these instruments. I wanted to do it myself. But that's neither here nor there. So we got Pumpkin, which was a good thing. So
Okay.
I'm sitting with Pumpkin, and he's taking what I have in my head and transferring it to music.
Okay.
So there's certain aspects of this your rock, like different coders, especially with Biters in the City. We put different breaks in there and so forth. So but the thing is, so we got it on Specific Records. And our first record, we got it distributed through the one-stop stores because this was vinyl at that time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we did it in Polygon Studio, and it was very successful. Yeah,
Now, how exactly? I know you say they went out and got Master OC.
right.
Now, can you talk a little bit? Back then, it seemed like there was always a lot of, like Master OC might have been down with the Fearless Four, and this one was down with this group, but there was always like a lot of interchanging of
Yeah.
members. You know what I mean? Being
Well,
on one crew and then kind of being on another one.
see, with OC's house, he lived right across from Grant. He lived like 2 blocks away from me
Mm.
on Tenement Square. Now, OC house was like a good meeting place.
Okay.
I would see Tila Rock there. The Treacherous Three would be there. I mean, I know Sunshine well because I met him through OC
Okay.
and what you call Special K. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there was a lot of meeting of Harlem people over there. So OC was open to do stuff,
Nice.
to work with. But see, everybody like they had Lee, the
Mm.
Treacherous Three had Lee, but you know what it is, and OC was always working with the Fearless Four, but yet he's doing his own thing with more music too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And when he worked with us, it was not for the music, it was for the production wise. You know what I mean? So see, actually is a good producer,
Mm-hmm.
and he honed his skills producing for Phyllis Ford.
Mm-hmm.
So with this one, he's actually produced this Yo Rock and put it together. There was a part where it goes backwards, right? We were like near the end, and that actually happened by accident.
Oh,
On the splicing board, when they were splicing it, the tape got twisted and
oh,
went backward. And it was like, oh man, and then it was like, whoa, wait, let's rewind that. And it was like right on time with like, we keeping it. OC is the one that said, let's keep that.
nice.
And you know what I mean? So I give him a lot of props because he's a good dude and he did that. He also produced the next one, which was Biters in the City too.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna talk about that in a second. But
yeah,
It's Your Rock comes out, man. And now correct me if I'm wrong. It felt again, I'm young, I'm young at that time, but I remember
yeah,
like that song seemed like it just was a hit as soon as everybody heard it.
yeah.
From what
All
I
it took
remember.
was it took the drum. And the thing about it is that like when I would walk, because I used to walk like from 125th to Douglas, which is on 103rd Street, and I would walk and as I walk, I'm going. I'm like, it was in my head all the time, but it was just,
And it
and
was
then I
also the what was that, like I don't synthesizers or
with they were
ding ding ding.
synthesizers. It was synthesizers to actually put the bell in there.
Okay,
And
okay.
yeah, and it was a bell synthesized, the drum, and every instrument was a live instrument.
Wow.
So Pumpkin played every instrument that's on there. So when you hear the keyboard, matter of fact, it was a keyboard. When you hear the keyboard, he's playing it. You hear the drums, he's playing it. You hear that violin part,
Yeah, yeah.
that was on the keyboard. That was that rotary dial. So that when you turn the dial, it changes the pitch.
Okay.
And it's
Nice,
going,
nice.
so
Uh,
that's where that came from.
just to piggyback real quick, I know we're gonna jump around a little bit. Don't mind us,
It's all
but
right.
Sincere was asking you a little bit about the battle with LL and everything. I just was
Yes,
wondering because you mentioned Kool Mo D at one point. Are you
yes.
kind of responsible for the beef between LL and Kool Mo D?
Well, the way I look at it, because I had L with me and we went to OC house
Yeah, yeah,
and and we was about to go in. I wanted to introduce him and all of that, and Mo D wanted us to leave. He actually told him, "Yo, I don't want him in." And Kool J thought that they were really disrespecting me, and I'm like, "Yeah, he is." But and at that time, that's when I had him with me all the time,
right,
like
right.
So he would come to the shop like on a daily basis, leaving from Queens, and we'd hang out. So I had to make him, well, not make him, but I had to tell him to bring some books. I'm like, when you come down here, bring your books, cause we're not just gonna sit here and talk. We going and I'm gonna play Tila Rock as your rock. I'm gonna play Tila Rock as yours, and you could sit here and write something, and I could critique it and see how it sounds.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
other than that, man, and then we hang out. So I was done that day, and we was going to this right down the block. Come on, let's go see. I'm gonna show you the Master OC, and So then it was like, yo, he felt like he should get at him, but I think it was for another thing. I think it was from something else too. Cause me and Mo, man, I'm not, I don't know Mo D. We're not social, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
we shook hands and we good. But we,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
as far as LA, Sunshine and Special K, I mean, they down. They my boys, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you remember most about the reaction to Biters in the City when it dropped?
Well, to go before Biters in the City, when Is Your Rock dropped, the Crash Crew came out with On the Radio, which was so similar to his Your Rock that I thought they plagiarized it. I'm thinking, man, they taking every instrument, they taking, because I know how it sounded. I was sitting there with Pumpkin when he did it, and they calling it an interpolation, but it wasn't. It was like actually like they taken the same instruments, took the record and sampled it, and made Crash Crew on the radio. Now I'm mad. We all mad. I'm mad. Charlie's mad. Larry's mad. So now we all sitting down saying we gotta retaliate. Well, we got our own label, and then we were mad at Specific Records. That was the turning point for Specific, because then it became CCL Records. So, which stood for Chico, Charlie, Larry, and Chico was Julio Guina, the one that originally put the money up. So he's our manager, and now he's our label owner, which, you know, of course, now I know is a conflict of interest. Yeah, but he's our label owner also, because we left from Specific Records in not too nice a way, and left from them. And I'm thinking, man, they biting my stuff. This our first record, and I had plans. I mean, like, it was, you know, there's levels to this. I had plans to take it to levels and levels. So now we like, yo, you know, we got to really write something, man. We got to make sure that they know that we're MCs. You know what I mean? So because that was the thing that they were saying, oh, well, it's Your Rock didn't sound like MCs on it, because I'm like, what? You know, but we all from Harlem, and you know, so, and if for Harlem guys to bite our stuff, and I mean, I respected the Crash Crew, you know what I mean? Like, they had some good music that as teenagers, and they established and did things that before I even thought of it. So, you know, but when they bit off of our stuff, I was like, you know, I start calling them the Trash Crew on WPLS. I was like, yeah, talking about. So I was setting them up to get them dismantled. But we came up with Biters in the City, and people liked it. People in Harlem, they was like, yeah, because they knew the Crash Crew had bit our stuff. But see, when they did it too, the thing that hurt was that they actually took our stuff off the radio. So now you don't hear the original, all you're hearing is the Crash Crew. And then you're thinking, oh yeah, that's it. That's the one, like, we biters. Like, we're the biters. Yeah. So, you know, so we definitely had to do Biters in the City.
Did you catch any backlash off of that song?
Nah. Ain't nobody stepping on me. You know, I'm like, ain't nobody was stepping on me. Trust me. I was a crazy wild guy. I'm still a little wild, but I'm older now. But it's like, I was a crazy wild guy. Ain't nobody was going to step to me. Matter of fact, they were stepping away from me, basically. It's probably why the industry ain't mess with me either. But you know, that's another story. I'm gonna tell you about that with why. But yeah, so we did Biters in the City. We had a good response to it, and that's when we battled the Crash Crew. We did that in Broadway International Disco. It was 1984, and they had posters too with people fighting, and it was dubbed the War in '84 because it was promoted. You know what I mean, there was people that's buying tickets for this stuff. You know what I mean? And Master OC was the DJ that was for us to play our records so that we could battle, and also so, you know, we were doing our songs. No, but it was geared as a battle. So we did this Your Rock, you know, we did Biters in the City, and, you know, it came time to battle. And I'm like, yo, man, let's go. And Master OC played Is Your Rock, and was slicing it up, and we started doing it. So, you know, they got so mad they wanted to fight. They got mad. They wanted to fight. I had my partner with me, Victor Garcia. Let me give him my man Vic. And he was like my driver, you know, chauffeur and stuff too. And he told me, but he's a good friend, not just a driver, but a good friend. And he was there with me. We was ready to throw down. He was ready to fight. Charlie came. He was ready to fight. Larry's ready. You know, we was about, and the Trash Crew, they was like, you know, When I had some white pants on, when I left out of there, my pants was dirty, man, because I was bouncing all over the floor and no. But you know, that's the only backlash I got from that. And I used to sit in their projects with a 40-ounce of beer playing my record on a box and wait for them to wait. That's because I was crazy. And wait for somebody to say something. But see, I could have got smashed out because I'll be doing it by myself. But see, sometimes anger could cause you to do stupid things, as I tell people. Because that wasn't too smart to sit up and link it, because they'd take me out.
You know, it's funny that like listening to you talk about the two songs and how similar they sounded. Because, like, for example, at that time, I'm like 11 years old. I remember hearing your song, and then I remember hearing their song as well at some point in time. But I'm too young to really know like who's who, and I just know like, damn, I remember, you know what I mean? Like you because as a kid, you just hearing the sounds, and it's the sounds that's kind of captivating you. So if you hear
Right,
something else
right.
that comes out that's similar, you're just thinking like, oh, it's the same crew that's doing, the same group. You know, you don't really know at
Yeah,
that
that's
age.
what. But see,
You know
and
what I
then
mean?
they started off with the same thing that we started off.
Right.
And I'm like, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh yeah, they playing the show rock. Then next thing I know,
Yeah,
Crash Cool
right.
rocking on the radio. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And it
Yeah, that's
sounds,
crazy.
yeah, it was crazy, man. And the thing was that, and that's what really messed me up, like with my crew, because I'm thinking that some kind of way they got to the masters and made their own version of our record.
Right.
And
And you're wondering how did that happen?
yeah,
Like did somebody? Yeah.
yeah, and that's why we got off of specific records. But the thing is that it had, I mean, my man Chico, he was gangster, you know what I mean? So it had to be something negotiated or something like that. And that's where the problem lies, because having these questions not answered and me being curious about it, that, and it's still to this day, I don't know how they got that, you know? So,
Right.
yeah.
So before things kind of went sour, with the group and everything, off of the success of that song and the others, what was it like? Like, were you guys, getting shows? Were you
Oh
going
yeah, man.
around out of state? Yeah.
We had fun. We did shows in Fun House. We did shows in the Roxy. We did some free shows for 92 KTU, and that was another thing. We did a lot of free shows for radio stations,
Yeah.
but it was also so that they would play our music. So when they take our music off and start, playing classical, then it's like, well, why are we messing with them? Why are we trying to do stuff to appease them? Doing and for free when we could, So we did a lot of shows. We did get paid. We did shows in the neighborhood. We did we did a few of them. Broadway International, Harlem World. We did a place called Club Harlem. I'm thinking on all of them. We did a few places. We even did Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
That was like that was a big thing in P-Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, they loved us out there. So we did Patterson.
So besides the Crash Crew, let's put them aside for a little bit. What about the other groups that were out at the time, man? What were they? How did they receive you guys? Was everybody cool? Did you guys all get along? Was the reception cool
Well,
from the other groups?
yeah, well, see, everybody knows they knew me. You know what I mean? So that, and the reception in from our Harlem groups was pretty good. You know what I mean? But the thing is that with all of it, with us being new, like people know me, but they don't know Charlie, or
Right.
they don't know Larry. So then it's like, and the only thing they know them from are the records. So that's where I'm like, yo, but they know me. I go to Joe Grant's, I go to the Fever, I go to places, and I go out there and do my thing. So it's like, I had to actually get my guys to be accepted. You know what I mean? Charlie, Larry, and they accepted in their own way, throughout the neighborhood and through, like there's what's the music you know what I mean? Because they're good MCs.
Yeah.
So but I was already known. So it's like, and plus the thing is like there was people like the Bronx MCs and this and that. There's always people. There's always jealousy, man. There's like, who are they? Why are they here? And that, you know what I mean? And I was experiencing that before Fantasy 3.
Okay.
So but we did our thing, and they were playing our records and all over the place, and it was in the clubs, it's in Joe Grant, and it's still being played. So it's like,
So by the time, where things weren't really working out and you find yourself that like the group thing isn't really happening, where did Silver Fox find himself? What were your plans around that time?
Well, after we did the Buck Stop here in summer. Now the thing is too is that it should have been 2 records, and the Buck Stop here would have been my single to step off and do my thing, really. What I mean? So, but they made it, through whatever corporate through the label, they incorporated it into 1 record. So now it's like, summer / BW, the Buck Stops here. So it's 1 record, which pissed me off again. So now I'm out. I'm out of New York. I went to Atlantic City, and this is like 1986. I went to Atlantic City, and in Atlantic City, I got all this love, and I was loving it. I joined a group called the LOD Posse with my man Stefan. He's part of it. My man Fresh G and DJ Soul. DJ Soul was the man. So we did stuff. I mean, and they didn't even have the equipment like I had.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I met them through my man Rasul Rockmans. I gotta say that, Rasul, because Rasul was my dude. And I started meeting all of the MCs in Atlantic City. They had a hip hop culture that nobody knew about. Sure Shot C and Fahim Sadiq, the Bayoks, and I was like, what? Mike Nitty and King Negro, and I was like, where these guys come from? And the hip hop was dope, but I was on, like 3 different levels. So I chilled with them, with LOD Posse, and then I got with a crew called the All Powerful Jam Masters. where we had 2 DJs, DJ Dante, my man DJ Herb, and we had 2 DJs, big old speakers from Vegas, and we was doing the clubs and doing the all through Jersey. They was here about the All Powerful Jam Masters. I even brought them into New York and took them to Joe Grant's. You know what I mean? Check it out, and then I joined the Enterprise. With the Enterprise, we started really doing some stuff. We started recording. That's with my man Shay Drastic, and I got introed and accepted because I had the audition, believe it or not. So I auditioned for Shay Drastic, and I got accepted. And me and my man Big Doc, aka Lynn Swan, aka T-Mex. I mean, he got a lot of names on. But me and my man Big Doc, we decided we're gonna make an album. So we made the New Millennium album. This was 1999. We started putting it together and released it in 99 for the New Millennium album. It's dope. We got through the tri-state area. So we started pressing it up. We had CDs, this, that, man. We put it in the record store, Crown Records. Thank you, Crown Records, for having our stuff in your store. We put it in the stores in Vineland. Now I'm gonna name some places, but it's gonna be South Jersey. They know. We put it in Vineland. We put it in Bridgeton. We put it in Atlantic City. We put it in Ocean City. Put it in Summers Point. We had our joints and record stores, and people was buying it because it was something new. And they, it had it in Philly too, because which is across the bridge, like right there. So
What was the name of that one?
it's
The
called the
album?
New Millennium album.
The New Millennium album. Okay.
Yeah, for the New Millennium.
Right.
And it's the Big Doc and Silver Fox. So
Right.
we put that, and the producer was Shay Drastic, and I had some features like Cheap Bull and who else? Big D, my man Ray's. Man, it was a big crew, and the thing is that the crews, there were different cats that they were making CDs and tapes and putting it on each other. So there was Trey Deep, which was dope. There was a group that was self-contained. There was Chi Bull was self-contained. Oh, another group called Self-Contained. I mean, so I was Silver Fox, and then I was going to do it on my own, do my whole album, and then it just was time consuming. So it was a Fox and Doc. So Fox side, Doc side, and boom, and it was hot. I still have the tracks to this day. Some of them I put it back up.
Any other
So
avenues you've been working on outside of music throughout the years?
yeah, I worked. I mean, I've traveled. I gotta eat, so I was like, okay. Matter of fact, in Atlantic City, I worked as a cook, a chef out there. So I was working in the casinos. Got to eat to live. And then I actually was working in a nursing home as a dietary aide, which is Meadowview nursing home. And so I had various, like, all the time. I work all the time. So it's like, I like money. I got to make it. And I have no aversion to hard work. I mean, I moved from Atlantic City to Georgia, and I was doing stuff like building bridges and laying down footers and God, I worked for Aramart Uniform Service, where I started out as what they call a mat roller. Those mats and stuff. They come out the dryer, you put them in the machine, it rolls up, and then you put it away. So that's all I did all day. And put it where it belonged, put it where it belonged. And then, so I started learning how to use the dryer. Of course, I just asked questions. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So if a dryer man's sick, I could jump on the dryer. If he moving too slow, I could jump there, blah, blah, blah. Then one guy broke his arm or something on the truck. I'm like, yeah, well, I can help you out. I mean, I could. So I learned how to get on the truck. Next thing I know, I'm a route service representative, driving trucks from Georgia to South Carolina to this, that. So that was nice because I took pictures of hay because I never saw a bale of hay before. I'm from the north. I'm like, what the heck was that? Oh, a bale of cotton. That's what it was.
Oh, cotton. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know, right? I was like, whoa, this is a bale of cotton. It was, it was good. But yeah, man, I worked all my life, bro.
How come a solo album or project never manifested?
Well, back then, I was mostly like, after I worked with the Enterprise, then that was Atlantic City. Then when I moved down south, I was changing my life. I wasn't thinking about music.
Okay.
I was just thinking because I was married again, you know what I mean? And I'm going to church and all of that, you know what I mean? When I went down south to Savannah, Georgia, matter of fact, Savannah, GA, I went there for Walgreens to train to be an assistant manager.
Okay.
So I went to Hilton Head Island. That's South Carolina. That's where they trained me at. But it's right across the bridge with Savannah, Georgia. So I went there to train as a assistant manager in Walgreens. When I got to Walgreens and introduced myself to the manager, oh, he didn't like that. Because, they kind of KKK-ish over there. I'm telling you. But, I'm going to say it too. So he didn't know who I was, but the last name was Hobdy. So he didn't think I was a Walker or a Jones or whatever that. You know what I mean? So he didn't know until he saw me. So he tried to circumvent and say things happened that didn't happen. Like I left a door open, or I left the safe open, and I didn't reconcile the cash properly. Here we go. So I had to look for another position real quick before I got terminated from that.
Mm.
But so over there, I wasn't thinking about music until I met a guy named Camouflage. Rest in peace, Camouflage. He's
Yeah.
from Pure Pain Records, and
Okay.
yeah, he's a young dude too.
Mm.
And I mean, he was young. He was young, and we talked in Pure Pain. They accepted me. Like I would go to their studio and chill, and that's because of my boys too. I met some people there, like my man CR, rest in peace. He was a Noble. He's in the Masons. You know what I mean? I met a bunch of them, and my man Glover, and my man Steve, and these guys looked out for me, made sure I was cool in Georgia. You know what I mean? Took me to places. And so I met Pure Pain Records and Camouflage. And we was thinking about doing a recording together. However, he was assassinated, basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
he was killed in front of his studio. But he has a song called Cut Friends by Camouflage. If you Google Camouflage
Mm-hmm.
or you look on YouTube, you'll find Camouflage. He's from Pure Pain Records, and everybody in Savannah, they know who he is. You know what I mean? He's from a place called Hitch Village and shit.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
How again going back, you saw a young Tito, you seen a young LL, you seen a young Kool G Rap.
Yeah.
What's Silver Fox thinking to himself when he sees, how Kool G Rap ended up becoming and how far LL and making movies and doing all kind of stuff, the success. How does that feel, to be someone that actually got to see them early on?
I really like it. I love it is through tutelage and through knowing like with LL. Okay, let's take L first, right? At first, I was calling him CJ because that ladies love Cool J. I'm like, oh man, I ain't gonna be calling you ladies love. I'm like, you CJ, man, Cool J ain't, what I mean? But L, he's very intelligent. And the thing is that with his intellect and his way of absorbing, just absorbing things, it's like, and memorizing the comprehension, so the comprehension level, the intellect level, I knew that he learns from people's mistakes and from their positivity. Because
Mm-hmm.
there was things with him where we hanging out and he see where I'm going wrong at, and I know that he not gonna do it. It's like
Right, right.
something that I would tell my brother, yo, you see what I do, but don't do what I do. Just to, you know what I mean? Like that. And he's like 16. So, but what I like is that he found, see, because he was always hunting to get and signed, to get on a label, he knew what his dream was and he kept pursuing it, coming from Queens to Harlem to pursue this dream. And it's not just with me. It was like now I'm introducing him to CCL Records. Now he meet Peso and Tito and Mike C, and so they have their own relationship and conversation. And he also knew some of the hustlers out there, so he knows how to hustle hard and how to and to do it legitimately. And
Mm-hmm.
when Rick Rubin actually heard him from one of the beasties, they gave I think it was Air Rock, gave Rick Rubin the tape, and he heard this. Now, and this articulation is through him practicing and practicing and practicing.
Mm.
So it's like, and I knew that with a right team, he would go far. I knew because it was his time. I kept telling him, it's your time, man. You young, you look good. I'm like, man, that these old dudes, man, they done. I'm like, they don't think they are, but they done. And I'm not saying nothing against, people this first school that started hip hop. Man, that's beautiful. But hip hop goes through metamorphosis.
Mm-hmm.
It changes as each person grows up listening to it, and they want to add their own flavor to it. So I knew that he was gonna go for, especially with Jack the Ripper. That was my choice. As soon as he came with Jack the Ripper, it wasn't even I'm bad, and it wasn't even I need a beat, but it was Jack the Ripper. I'm like, there you go. That's what I want. That's him. That's L right there. So it's like, you know, I Need a Beat started out because we was listening to Tila Rock so much,
Right,
you know,
right.
but his articulation is great. And the other one, you know, I'm bad, but that's his introduction to show you that, and he wants to,
Mm-hmm.
But that Jack the Ripper, that's the young kids' anthem. Whoever was young at that time, man, that's the anthem. Pimp, pimp, pimp. My name is, I don't know, this rap up, rapping, he's a rap. Oh man, because he broke. That's when he crowned himself the new school king.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from Jack the Ripper, that was it.
How
Now
about
with Kool G Rap. Oh gee,
yeah.
with
No, no,
Kool
go
G
ahead, go
Rap,
ahead.
Kool G Rap was always a hustler. You know what I mean? He was always a hustler. So I knew that that his joints is gonna come out street, that he's gonna be talk, and he's gonna do it faster and quicker and articulated than anybody know. Cause he's like, yo, I'm a twist this. He loved that tongue twisting, multi-syllabic. He loved that, and that's the one thing that he that he stuck to. Like Elwood bounced upon different styles, you know,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what the era. But G Rap, man, G Rap is gonna be G Rap, and it's like once he puts his signature and stamp and made a style his own, it's his. It's
That
G
was
Rap.
it.
And what
Mm-hmm.
I love about him too, on his first album, Road to Riches, he put a special dedication to me. You know,
Oh,
special dedication to Silver Fox. It's the first word you see. Special dedication to Silver Fox. And I'm like, yo, my man, he put me on his first album. And he
nice.
always give me love, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
How does Silver Fox feel about the state of hip hop in 2024?
I tell you, some of it I like, some of it is garbage, and some of it is ridiculous. But see, that's how it was back in the day too. Some of it was good. Some man, things are just popping up on my phone. Okay, what the heck, man? You gotta cut it out. Some is good, some was bad, some was, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Except right now, there are so many mediums that could promote it, you know.
Right,
So
right.
now yeah, now the hookers or whatever, they could get promoted because anybody with a phone, you could take a video and then now you can put that on YouTube. Or now you can it's like YouTube don't care about the content. Just say it's not made for kids and you can put anything on YouTube. You can put anything everywhere, TikTok, this, that, that. So now they're doing things just to be seen. You know, want to flash the butt, flash the butt. So that's the hooker music. There's always been because we want the girls. There's always been hookers in there. So that's the cover of the hooker music. Drill music. That everybody doing drill is getting killed. It's basically, I'm not laughing at it, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like there's people doing drill and they kill us and they getting killed. So, you know, they leaving a stamp. They leaving a stamp on there. And they getting paid though. They filling stadiums and arenas. So that shows that they are actually influencing
Mm-hmm.
thousands of people, millions of people. They influence them to be singing songs about packing a gun and shooting somebody in the head, and they the ops, and now we dead, and you know they are actually brainwashing them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about the state of and the industry now, and it's not just the industry, but the people are controlling it. There are people that's in control right now. They controlling the industry, controlling foods, controlling this, control. They're the gatekeepers, as they call them. You know what I mean? But they controlling what you see and hear. So you're not gonna hear the real good stuff talking positive. You're not gonna hear Public Enemy or they pushed them to the side because it's too positive. It could cause a positive impact on the children. You know what I mean? So now we want y'all to just keep shaking your butt and killing people. And so that's what it is. And then some of this stuff is nonsense. Like, but then I like some of it. Like I liked I can't even name who I liked because I like some of Future. You know what I mean? I like Tigger. I like Chris Brown. I like there's MCs like that I like Baby Skeet from St. Louis. You know what I mean? I dig his music, but it's still gangster stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah, and it's still, there's some people I met too, man. WW Worldwide Records, with Boss Lady Michelle, and I just gotta give a shout out. But she's got some people on the label, and the thing is, at least she has different, diverse people, like OG Dougie, guy named OG Dougie. He sings, he raps, and he says some positive, and I salute that. And there's people that's doing it. Lady Razzmatazz, she got positive stuff. There's people that do it, but you're not gonna hear about it because the industry don't promote it because all they want is the money, and they want you to get the views, and they have a system in effect. So right now, even television stations, I'm not gonna mention a station, but television stations, when they're giving awards out, they are awarding and applauding the deprivation of hip hop and calling it the culture. So, that's the way I feel about it. But this you got to take the good with the bad. I mean, so what, they hookers, but the thing is that it's not that they doing it, is what they doing to the children. Because there's little girls singing Sexy Red songs, and Do Your Baby Daddy, and they singing it like it's fun.
Right,
And it's
right.
like, man, don't you see what you're doing? But then their mothers are to blame also, and because they follow behind what they see, and
Right.
it just is what it is.
Can you talk a little bit about what was it, about a week ago, more or less, the acknowledgement you received out in Harlem?
Oh, yes indeed, yes indeed. Matter of fact, I packed it away because I'm about to go to anything. But the Hip Hop Museum of Harlem, they awarded our group. It wasn't just me, not to me personally, but mine says Silver Fox on it, so that's my personal one. But it's for the group,
Okay.
Fantasy 3, me, Charlie Rock, and Larry D. I want to emphasize that it's not just me.
Got
And because I love my peoples, I love my boys, we did it together, you know what I mean? And so Harlem, and we were scattered all over the place. I just happened to be in Harlem so I could receive my award. And Charlie's in Miami. He has Charlie Rock Productions, and he's doing good. He did some music with Giggles. He's a promoter, producer, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Larry's doing well too. He's just taking care of his life right now and doing what he has to do. So, I respect him for that. So the award is actually for Fantasy 3, and it's from the Hip Hop Hall of Fame in Harlem. And I am greatly humbled and appreciated. My man JT, that's from the Hip Hop Museum, and he presented it to me. And also Phyllis Four received one also.
Okay.
They weren't all there to get that, but Mike C was there and he grabbed it. And
Nice.
you know what I mean? I really feel honored about it. It was a nice thing, and Harlem was there, and it was the first day of Harlem Week, which actually, so of course they out there. They were outside.
Yeah. Lastly, before we get ready to wrap up, you were just in Philly not that long ago. Were you at the Brother Ron event?
Yes, Brother
That's where you
Ron,
were?
Brother Conscious.
Yeah.
It was fly like that. I went
Yeah.
out there. 1 second, let me just got my 40. Okay. Yeah, Brother Ron, Brother Conscious, and it was really a great event, and it was the first of many because they're gonna try and do it next year, God willing. And I really had a good time. There was food there. Brother Ron's daughter, she actually hosted and make sure that everybody was well fed, and it was all peaceful. It was peace and love out there.
Yeah, I couldn't make it, man. He invited me, man. Shout out to brother Ron, man. That's my brother, man. We go back a little while.
Doubt to wrong.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
because
Good
that was
dude, man.
right that was right at his spot.
That is hot. Yeah. Good brother, man, and brother conscious as well.
Guys,
Man, Silver Fox. Unless you got it,
That was good.
you're good. Anything you got going on, coming up in the future? Anything that people, or if people just want to get in touch with you or find out what's going on with Silver Fox, what's
well,
happening?
that's I'm glad you asked, because right now I'm working with a dope producer, Darryl Fortune, and
Okay.
I was doing some tracks also with DJ Speed. Big up DJ Speed, and we have everything out. We have the Howling album, which I did. I wanted to test the waters and see what's going on. But as you know, the industry is like gonna hold stuff back, especially if you're an OG. So you could go to YouTube, Legendary Emcee Silver Fox on YouTube, or go to Emcee Silver Fox, because I have videos there. Some with my man J Mac. We did an album called Entente. That's spelled Entente. And that's a collaboration between San Diego and New York. So my man is from San Diego, California. Oh, let me say I used to live out there too. And so let's see I have new music coming. I'm doing a remix on this Your Rock, which Darryl Fortune is doing it, and I'm gonna do the vocals myself, and it's done right now. I'm just working on the video, so I'm gonna be going to Atlantic City tomorrow. Got my bags packed, and I'm taking some of the footage and stuff like that. And anybody want to contact me, be in touch. I got a million pages. First of all, I'm on Instagram, SilverFox125, on IG. You can find me on Facebook, Reggie Fox Hobby, or Silver Fox 125, or Legendary Emcee Silver Fox, or Silver Fox Band, or Silver Fox Music US. You feel me? Yeah. So just to compile all of that, Google, or just search, or just ask Siri, find Silver Fox Music US, and you'll see all my pages, my interviews, my stories, and link up with me. You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and press that button. And believe me, I'm personal. We could talk, we could do whatever, and then I'll let you know what shows are coming up, etc. like that.
For sure, man. Once again, Silver Fox, thank you, man. I'm glad that you're still actually doing it and still inspired to make music and be out there, man, because I know it's not easy. But thank you, man. Thank you. We appreciate you taking the time. And I will add that you did say you're humble, and I have to admit, I got the pleasure to see you. What was that, last year, I believe, at the Van Silk event in the
Yes,
Bronx.
sir.
You were very humble, approachable. I'll post a picture later. But yeah, make sure everybody follow Silver Fox on Instagram. Appreciate everything you've done in the past, and good success and luck with everything you got going on in the future.
Thank you. And I thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
And big up, salute. And everybody subscribe right here. If y'all want to hear more of this, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.